Hey everybody, welcome to Real Life Sci-Fi with Wade and Willie. I'm Wade.
I'm Willie.
This is a podcast about the paranormal and contemporary mythology. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/real life sci-fi. I get 2 bonus episodes a week. Right now we're streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/real life sci-fi. Yeah, we got a link tree, reallifesci-fi.show for all of our stuff. I don't even know what's on there. Public. Who knows? Let's welcome aboard the SSRLSF. It's our good friend, the renegade creator, Andrew Parker. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, what's up,
up,
guys? It's good to be back.
Andrew or Andy?
You can call me Andy. Andrew's what I reserve Andrew for professionalism.
Andy.
And I'm not very professional on this show, so we're good.
Well, so how you been?
I've been pretty good. It's been a hot minute. Last time,
I'm trying to think of when that was. Was it pandemic?
It was Zoom, right?
I think. Yeah, it was definitely Zoom. It was before Aaron, and I got totally hammered the last episode.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, well, I do that too much.
Zoom, but to be fair, the Zoom episodes were like, oh my God, what else is there to do than stare at your fucking computer and drink a shitload?
Yeah. Now I remember being afraid to listen to like the after show because I was like already blacked out by the time that started. And I was so worried about how like cognizant I sounded or what I had even said.
Listen, try doing that every week, because it's not that I'm blacked out every week, but like I also don't retain any of the things that we talked about, because like, yeah, every week I do a show for 3 hours. Like, how much of that do you expect me to remember? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it makes me feel bad about my brain.
Picture that the 3-hour show every week and not drinking. How much would you retain anyways? You know?
Well, I feel like you have to be drunk to like discuss like conspiracy theories properly. You have to be like some sort of soused, you know?
Speaking of that, well, one, I need to go grab my weed pen. That's like what I'm doing now to not drink as much. I just get really stoned now.
That's the move.
Well, and what's weird is like my tolerance is going. No one told me that like weed tolerance. Immediately, I'm way more tolerant of weed. So now I just like suck on the thing like constantly. Whereas before is like one puff. I don't want to get paranoid.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, whatever.
I suggest
this just gets me to normal.
Suggest trying to do a couple times a week. You know, you do more than that, like, you're gonna.
I don't care. I'll just keep doing it. I don't care. There's no point to life. It doesn't matter. So I'm kind of in a weird mood. But Andy, tell us about the projects you've got going on.
Okay, well, I'm like all over the place. My main big thing is audio dramas. You know, I do this show Crypta. It's about cryptids, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, and the Mothman, and they're all under the supervision of a Project Paperclip scientist in Area 51. Show. Oh, thank you. And my other big show was Ghosters, which I did for Frequency 101, which is I think airing right now over on Channel 101, but don't go look there because Ghosters is not playing right now. And that was a ton of fun. I'm still very sad that it got canceled, but it's coming back. Our next episode is already almost done. Well, I just need to do a little bit more editing with it, but we're bringing Ghosters back.
What do you mean, like for Frequency or just on your own?
Just on our own. We had too much fun making it. And when it ended with Frequency, I was like, all right, I'm grateful to have a break because it went for 14 episodes. So it was like, over a year that I had to keep this ball rolling and had this schedule of 1 week writing, 1 week recording, 1 week editing. And I was like, okay, I can finally fucking breathe for a minute, but I had so much fun making it. I love the team so much. I love the characters. I love the dynamic of all the characters that we're bringing it back. So there will be more Ghosters. I got another frequency show in the works, but I gotta find the time. Like life is crazy and hectic, but yeah, like that's my main thing. Audio dramas. I was just in Willie's show
Yeah,
on
that's playing
frequency.
tonight. Bloodblade tonight.
Bloodblade. Yeah, I love Bloodblade. I was very happy to when I was reached out to be in it. Like voice acting is my thing. I'm on a bunch of podcasts. I'm in the Backwoods Radio Show. I'm going to be in a show coming up soon called Blazed All Our Lives, which is like a drag queen soap opera show, which is a ton of fun.
But it's an audio drama, so you have to picture your own drag queens.
Yeah, well, I play a Southern judge in it, but yes, yeah, there are multiple drag queens in the show, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it. It's very campy, very it's exactly what it sounds like, you know. And I also write horror. I take like a hard left from the comedy into extreme horror. Right now, I've got a series running on my friend Shelby's podcast, Scare You to Sleep, called Obscene. That has been it's been a ton of fun to write, and people have been some of the audience has not really been loving it because it's so extreme. She's gotten a bunch of hate mail for it and be like, "You've crossed a line. There's something wrong with you." And so I highly recommend going and listening to that if you got the stomach for it, because I've been having a ton of fun writing that and terrorizing her audience.
How do you are they Christians or something, or is it just super gory?
It's super gory. It's very graphic, and it's kind of like more real life horror. It's not like ghosts or something, you know, something where you'd be like, well, that could never happen, you know.
Right.
So I like when I write horror, I like to gut punch my audience and make them like really think about like their life and their trauma and stuff. I try to build off of I mean, this one not so much a common experience, but I have a lot of stories that are built off of common experiences and common traumas that like people have, and I try to be like, well, what if it was way worse, you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, like I wrote one song, this is gonna bum out some of the audience, but I wrote one story about like a family having to put down their dog, and a bunch of people who read it were like, this made me so goddamn sad. And then it like, you know, it starts out normal and then it takes a turn into the Twilight Zone. But that's when I do horror like that, I like to kind of explore like human trauma and then turn it up to 11, you know?
Yeah. And so wait, that's a written thing? That's not a podcast?
No, it's not a podcast. It's written. You can find links to it on my Instagram, at Fritz Bone Lord. I got a link tree there for that. But yeah, like I gotta start peddling that shit to like publishers and stuff, because there's all sorts of like anthology people. They'll take just about anything you submit. I just need to find those avenues because I've got those stories written down and stuff. But yeah, Obscene is on Scare You to Sleep, and I highly recommend listening to that because Shelby does a great job somewhat dramatizing it. She adds sound effects and stuff and music and very strong acting in her narration, and like that I've been having so much fun. Just I like cannot wait for every single part, like when she makes it to come out, because that's like when I feel like I've really experienced the story, you know, after writing it.
Yeah. So you trust her to kind of direct it, add all the sound effects stuff.
Yes, yeah.
That's
She does
cool.
a great job of it.
Well, so it sounds like you're pretty into you've been on the show before, but I don't remember your WoW scale or anything like that. How into conspiracy theories and paranormal stuff are you?
Heavier on the paranormal, a little bit less on the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
All
right, well, let's jump into the WoW scale. It is a 5-question quiz. WoW scale.
Are you a wed?
5-question quiz. It stands for Wade or Willie at the end. You will be given a score anywhere between 0 and 5. If you're more of a 0, you're more of a Wade. If you're more of a 5, you're more of a Willie. Are you ready to be weighed on the WoW scale?
Weigh my Willie.
All right. Question number one,
heavy one.
three-parter. Do you believe in aliens? If so, have they visited Earth? If so, have they visited Earth in the last 300 years?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Did that change recently, or was that what it was for a while?
I think that's what it was before.
Word.
It's hard to believe that if there are aliens that they wouldn't have visited, at least like pretty intelligent life. At very least, there's got to be other life in the universe, flat out. Period. It's like the universe is too expansive for there not to be some sort of cosmic accident that created life somewhere other than Earth.
Another miracle, you say?
Yes, exactly. And with how expansive it is, it's hard to believe that there wouldn't be another society advanced enough for space travel. And I think it kind of goes without saying that if there was a form of life capable of space travel, that they wouldn't be seeking out other forms of life as well. I don't think obviously we're not quite there yet, but once we are, obviously we got to go find new buddies,
Yeah.
or at least
I imagine
check it out,
if we found out there was life on a planet in our solar system, that would be the next goal. All right, let's get there.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Let's send them radio messages.
All right. Question number 2. Do you believe in ghosts?
I think I've got the same answer as I did last time. Whereas I do believe in psychic impressions and revenants and remnants of psychic energy. I don't necessarily believe in cognizant ghosts, like your classic, it's oh yeah, it's just him, but he's dead and he's an apparition. I believe in psychic impressions that can be left by trauma or extreme emotion, poltergeist type stuff.
Time out. Is your shirt one of those Doctor Who guys? Oh no,
No, it's William Burroughs. William S. Burroughs, probably my favorite author.
Oh, Bigfoot.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I can see it.
Psychics?
That's a tough one. Because I immediately don't trust anybody who claims to be a psychic. Because if they're making money from it, I don't trust them at all. I believe that you can be kind of in tune to energies and unseen things, but I don't necessarily believe be oh, the child's in the well, they're somewhere near water,
All right. Last question. Do you believe in the simulation theory?
That's kind of a complicated one too. The simulation theory is where it's we're all in the Matrix or something, right? Or
any version of the simulation theory. Do you believe that we live in a simulation? It can be Matrix. It can be, a lot. It's a lot. Well, you're right. It's a lot.
Well, yeah, there's definitely a lot of layers to that one, because I don't believe that we live in a simulation, but I do believe that everybody experiences reality differently, and we have an ability to kind of influence it sometimes, with energy that we put out and
well, how do you explain that
we receive? I don't know. I think our brains are just more powerful than we think sometimes,
But if you had to theorize on why that is, would it be brain waves, or would it be that we're tapped into a computer that we don't know about? Would it be religious?
I think it's a collective energy, collective unconscious type thing.
So wait, here's the parallel question. With superstitions, do you think it's just a numbers game for let's say the Bears are playing Green Bay in Atlanta. You think that everyone doing their superstitious things has an effect on the game, and it's just
Sure.
how many people are actually doing it versus?
Sure. Yeah. I think as with like a lot of magic type stuff, it works if you think it works. You know, if you believe in it, it's kind of like The Secret. You know, if you think it's going to work, it can work for you. You know, like
Yeah,
and
I'm with that.
I mean, and I'm not sure exactly even how it works. You know, maybe it's all bullshit and you're just subconsciously putting those vibes out for yourself. But it's like I think if you think it works, it can work for you. It's just like religion and stuff, you know, like because you know, I mean, I'm not a religious guy, but I respect like people who have their beliefs and stuff because it helps them, and it, you know, it's how they get through the day, and it's how they live their life. And I think it's good for them. And honestly, I think if you boil it down, it's all the same damn thing anyways. You know, it's all magical thinking, it's all like positive affirmation and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I asked, like, what would you attribute it to? Because even when you said it could be bullshit, but you're just giving yourself those vibes, that's still something, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's weird because it's like it's almost like a double negative where it's like, yeah, maybe it doesn't work at all, but it works, you know?
That's why I pray to the universe, because the power of prayer works. I don't want to give that power away to anything other than the collective unconscious or the,
Right, but
Yeah.
the universe could just be a computer, you know?
Well, it could be. Could be. It could be some form of like unseen energy, like the force.
But you don't think it is, so that's a no.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not I don't know where the fuck I stand on that.
I mean,
I know that
in
there's
the-
a lot of goddamn coincidences that happen a lot of the time. I get a lot of synchronicities. I've had people tell me many times that I'm a very like magical person, and sometimes things just fucking fall into place and happen for me in ways that are very unexplainable, you know? And it's like it's hard to believe there's not something we're all tapping into, and some people are a little bit more adept at doing so than others.
Right, but having said that, it's not a computer.
No, not a computer. No, I don't think so.
Okay. You know, so you got like a half on ghosts, you got like a half on psychics. You're a 3 leaning into a 4. So we'll call you a 3.5. I think you're probably more like a 5, but for these 5 questions, you're like a 3.5.
Okay.
Willie, hit us with that topic.
tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi, China's social credit score. Is it coming here to America? Authoritarian rule. You can't do anything without the government watching, and you get punished publicly. Will it surprise you to hear that it already is here in America? Well, let's get into that tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi.
Excellent.
So
This
China
sounds
right
like
off the bat.
such a Q thing, man.
Oh no, not at all. We're going to go in 2 different directions. Where
It really
Q
does, but it really does sound like, hey, fucking doom and gloom, like your government's against you, and they are. I hate the government, but listen, I will reserve judgment. Go on.
Well, and so you guys both know about China social credit score, right?
I know a bit. I tried to do some research on it, but I could not find like anything super concrete about how exactly it fucking works.
I think that's
Right,
kind
'cause-
of the thing too, where it's like, yes, I remember hearing about it when they started it like 10 years ago or whatever. Who knows if this is propaganda that we're being fed and it
It's-
doesn't actually exist.
It's a mixture of both. There's so much propaganda about how negative it is, but it's weird because they're a communist government. They have a dictator, and so it's just kind of a new way for them to get through how things run and run 5G. They've had 5G there for a long time. They've got technology everywhere. They're about to start 6G before we even get into 5G. So this is fucking crazy. I'll do a quick rundown of their shit. Okay. Their government's very strict. You can't even really talk about the government. People go missing all the time. So they've got all these 5G networks up there. I say all these because 5G networks run off of little tiny towers because they use smaller wavelengths. So they have to put one of those little boxes up every 500 feet in every direction. So there's a shit ton of them. They have facial recognition software. Even with the mask on, they can recognize your eyes. Basically, everybody's got a digital persona, and you get positive and negative scores for things. This is all true. It's not as bad as we make it sound, but it is bad. You know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't sound good, you know?
You do lose privileges. And also the funny thing is, I mean, because, 5G going into 6G, picture the shock that it was for us to jump into the internet, right? When the internet first came here. That's what's happening with 5G. They're basically most of the things you do on your phone, you can do without your phone. But it requires these boxes and this recognition and tying you to your bank account and your credit score and all this shit.
Wait, don't
Right.
we have 5G? I thought we were already on 5G.
We are.
Isn't my phone 5G?
We have some phones that are working on 5G, but like the way that data rates are, they're still truncating everything that you can do. And most of that data is for trying to run different things like automated cars and facial recognition software thing. So like our phone calls and our internet's still shitty. We're still running basically 4G numbers because they've been charging us 4G numbers. So to, how do you charge someone 1,000 times more? You don't. So, well, we just truncate it and figure it out later. So, but the crazy thing about their shit is like what they're trying to do is punish you for using their resources too. So you get negative points for moving up in governments. If you have a question, let's say some lower government court over there in China you have a problem with, and you want to ask the next higher court, you can ask them, but you will lose social credit score.
Interesting.
Which is hilarious. So it really is just like, hey man, try to figure out shit on your own. Don't waste our resources.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So in America, the social credit score would run 100% different here because we have a different form of government. We have a different form of rule.
Well, we have a very different society too.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys, who do
You mean because we're the number one society?
Number one. Yeah, exactly. We're all about that goddamn that freedom, that
USA,
personal freedom.
baby. We
Yeah.
chanted on the accessible public transit every day.
Is there anybody who used to be in a rock and roll band who's now a senator? No, there's not.
Well, there was Nugent for a little bit, right? Or did he lose? Did Nugent lose?
I think he lost. The only coolest guy we've had is oh god damn it! Why can't I think of his name? He's Jesse
the Brain.
Jesse, being was he a Green Beret or a Navy SEAL? Which one was it? No, he's so intelligent. He's so awesome.
No, he's fucking insane, dude.
When he
A tale
won
of two
governor,
internets right here.
That's for damn
right?
sure.
For reals. When he won governor, he got invited to a room and he was
That was
surrounded
20
by
years ago, though. I'm talking
yeah,
right
Jesse
now.
Ventura.
He's fucking insane.
Okay. So when he got elected, he got invited to a room and he was surrounded by 20 to 30 guys in suits, and they were just drilling him on how did you win? What did you do? Because he wasn't supposed to win. Very sad. So I mean, who's in charge here? Who's got the biggest? Who would run our social credit score out here? Just spitballing. What do you guys think?
Bezos.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be the billionaires, the Zuckerbergs, the Bezos, the Elon Musk.
Even
I mean,
above those guys, though, who's the one above those guys? The fucking Blackwater or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. What is it Blackwater? Is it Black? I think it's BlackRock, right? I think
Blackwater.
Blackwater.
I think Blackwater is the Iraq.
That's like the Death Squad people.
The American mercenaries. Like the private military. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, you guys got the right answer. The social credit score here would be run by corporations.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is what's happening. And how does that happen? You get bill slipped into new legislation, right? You get sneaky things everywhere, just like whatever. Yeah, maybe I will start sounding like you, just like the Patriot Act, you know?
Yeah, Andy, feel free to not nod along to the things he's saying, because you never know what you're nodding along to until
Okay.
he's done saying
True.
it.
Basically, the social credit score here, the way that it's starting, the way that it's shaping up, and hold on, this is from a liberal point of view, not a right-wing point of view, what I'm getting into now. The new bill that got slipped into legislation was Border Security and Enforcement Act of 2023. So Border Patrol right now, they have a 100-mile border enforcement zone, 100 miles from any border, but also 100 miles from any international airport. They have jurisdiction. And because of this Border Security and Enforcement Act, well, wait, hold on. Let me go back. Immunization and Nationality Act, they can ID you without a warrant, without probable cause. They can search your vehicle without probable cause. This is why ICE is running around and just running shit up, because like Border Patrol is above our Constitution. So just saying like that, that's happening.
But that happened. That happened longer ago. I don't know what bill you're talking about now, but that's been a thing for a minute.
Yeah. So
it's
that
not
one,
even just. It's like military bases too. It's like basically the whole country. They have jurisdiction over the whole country, basically.
9 out of 10 people,
unless you
in
live
America,
in a place where no one would ever want to live.
Right? 9
Like
out of 10
Iowa.
people in America live within 100 miles of an international airport. so good shit. So the other thing that's new is the Border Security and Enforcement Act of 2023, HR 2640. Basically, the bill promises to secure the border. Snuck within this bill, we will not provide asylum or residency for known criminals. We empower the state attorney general to haul federal government in who failed to detain unauthorized immigrants, whatever. Despite that, basically in this provision, they want E-Verify to happen nationwide. Now, E-Verify happened in the 90s. It was like a voluntary thing per company, per state, whatever, to say, hey, we just want to see who's allowed to work in the US, you know? But now this bill is going to say that everybody, it's mandatory. So E-Verify is a federal program that determines whether or not a person can be legally employed. Ron Paul's been warning about this for years, so he's on the good guy side.
What does this have to do with the social score, though?
Well, it's all about E-Verify, right? So E-Verify is set up to.
It sounds like the seeds of it.
Yeah, this guy from the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, he testified in front of the House Financial Services Committee. He says that data from your driving, your whatever that's called, all the data from your driving connected to your phone, right? And all of your social media usage.
Joke's on them. I run real fast.
That they can decide how to underwrite and make a loan for you based on these metrics. And within their research, they have a couple things. And he said that he testified that like if you capitalize your pronouns in emails, or if you charge your phone every night, you actually have better credit.
Really?
with them, your credit with their research, meaning, and I think it's because if you plug this is me guessing, if you plug your phone in every night, then it like downloads all the information from your phone, right? So I'll plug your phone in every night. We'll just collect all that data. There's all these companies that are data mining everything, but they're using that to create a digital persona of you, your purchasing history, your everything if you've done anything illegal, like it just this is happening now, but it's not that accurate, right? Because there's too many metrics, there's too much data, and aren't too many companies that are really focusing on what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, right? And so my personal example, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. My personal example is when I tried to get on this TV show, there was this company that was researching me. They sent me a 70-page article about all the things that I had online that were not that were a problem that I needed to change before I acted in this TV show.
Uh-huh.
The list was fucking huge, and it was all these ridiculous things like, hey, your kid is in a Chinese outfit. And a lot of it was about this podcast. Oh, this lady said her stance on Jewish stuff, but she was Jewish, you know? So like it attached it to me, but it wasn't properly to me because I think it was assuming I was white, because I'm like, well, my kid's Asian and he's wearing a Chinese outfit. Like a lot of things were racial based around me. I'm like, how do you have all these racial metrics when you don't know what race I am?
Yeah.
But
So,
also,
at any
you
rate,
have to imagine that's 20 humans scouring, listening to every fucking. Can you imagine if your job is to have to listen to this podcast?
it's all AI though. It's all AI input. They're just searching for keywords, going, here's a problem, here's a problem. Bup, 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 bup.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the problem is that you have there isn't like much of a human actually looking at it and really assessing it. But at the same time, it's way more efficient to have an AI doing that.
Yeah, because I sent him an email. I'm like, hey, if I got to change all this shit, I can't do the show. And I don't agree with half this stuff. At any rate, they're like, forget it. So they hired this company to look me up, and then they disregarded it.
It was
At any
easily
rate.
disregardable, though. I mean, and that's the thing. I think probably what happened to you was par for the course. They probably get those for everyone and see that they just have to be diligent, man. I mean, like, look at Bud Light. You get one fucking trans viral ad and now you're going bankrupt. Like,
Yeah.
I would never be on the side of corporations or anything, but I understand the hey man, we got to look into this guy before we put him on TV.
Yeah, I agree. I was just like, boy, and they weren't allowed to send it to them. They had to send it to me and tell me what to fix.
Interesting. And it's funny
At
how
any
much
rate.
of that stuff that actually misses too.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, because they didn't want to say how pro-abortion we were. And we only talk about how we're not just pro-life, we're like pro-abortion on this show.
I'm like,
They
hey,
didn't
man,
even say that once.
if it was one of our blessed military soldiers performing the abortion, that might be okay, because he probably has been trained properly, and it's not murder.
Yeah, we have conflicting ideas within our own brains where abortion is only cool if one of our military soldiers does it. And also if he dies later, we don't care about that at all. But none of that came up in the report, and that's weird because that's our main thing. That's like what we talk about here.
Yeah.
You've done this show, you know
Well,
that my name is only Wade because of Roe v. Wade, right?
Yes. No. Yeah. That's a proven fact. But no,
Roe
it's,
is robotic Willie. You know, that's
Yeah, my real name is Thomas.
Roe v. Wade.
Well, in preparation for this, I watched the social credit episode of Black Mirror.
Okay, which
Nosedive.
season?
I think it's season.
That's like season 4.
maybe-
That's the
is
redheaded
it?
girl, right?
Yes, yeah. Bryce
Yes.
Dallas
Yeah.
Howard. She was in it. I think she directed it too.
Yeah, she did.
And but
Oh, is that Ron Howard's kid?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
It's
Nepotism.
weird that when that no, that's all whatever. We're used to that. Nepo babies are cool. But when that episode came out, Kelsey kept getting texts of like, oh hey, good job in the new Black Mirror. Like not serious. No, not but like
Oh,
jokes.
Kelsey Abbott.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So that's like the only reason I remember. But anyway, go on. You watched that episode.
But yeah, I watched that episode in preparation for this. I did minimal research on the actual reality of it. I just wanted I wanted an excuse to rewatch that episode because it's so good. And one of the things though about that episode is that she gets dinged a lot for being disingenuous, which is funny because it's not a thing here. Like they went through your shit and they ding you for all these like problematic things, yet at the same time people keep getting hired who are horrible interpersonal people. When it comes out, they're disingenuous fuckers, they're like nasty with their personal relationships and stuff. And
in the show they do that.
Well, in the show, she's getting dinged for being disingenuous and stuff, but in reality it's funny.
Oh,
because,
that's a
like,
better, yeah, that's like a better version of, because our society is set up for narcissism and fucking psychopathy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just interesting that they have this like comprehensive like search of you and all your activity and stuff. And they do this for all sorts of people when they're casting and all this, but like the narcissist freaks and like the predators and stuff, they slip through the cracks because disingenuousness and stuff like that is not something that you can really like amalgamate on like a page,
especially
I think go on, Willie.
Like when people have different beliefs and have problems with like neighbors, you know what I mean? Our neighbor's been complaining about us for years, but it's all her personal shit. So our landlord just kind of brushes it off with her. Well, we're about to get a new one. So it's like, well, we got to give him a history lesson that who this person is, or are these complaints going to affect our living situation,
Wait, what? Why would
Yeah,
a new person?
let's get in the drama here.
Well, just saying that, like, she complains a few times a week about a bunch of people here. If somebody took those complaints seriously and logged them down, you know what I mean? Then that's like you build a case against people living, and then it gives you proper reason to kick someone out.
I see what you're saying. I kind of understand what you're saying. Yeah, because like
whether they're real claims or not, on paper the
yeah.
complaints can build up to where it's like, oh, you're not a good tenant.
Yeah. Well,
I'm only bringing that up
of the source. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, because
listen, as a landlord, as a slumlord, I should say, the squeaky wheel does not get the grease. The squeaky wheel gets the fucking axe, baby. Like, if you're complaining to me as a slumlord 2 or 3 times a week, I don't want to deal with that. Get the fuck out of here. I don't care if the other residents are punching through the walls. I don't need to hear about it.
We finally got her on video doing something because we think that she put her scissors through my son's swimming pool and a few other things. But we had our towel on a drying rack in the back, and there's video of her like just throwing the whole thing up in the air, like because she didn't want to look at it out her window.
What a fucking evil bitch!
Like, yes, we got something on video. Anyways,
that's wild.
But I'm just telling you. So social credit aside, I guess if we're into a future where corporations run absolutely everything, and there are no slumlords like me anymore because we've all sold all of our properties to, the Walton, Samuel Walton or whatever the fuck. Then I guess maybe that would be an issue where if you get a lot of, well, I still don't think, I think maybe I'm being optimistic. I just feel like in any situation, if you're logging like 100 complaints a day or whatever the number is, that's not going to be good for you, right?
That's got to be dinging you too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's good. That's a hopeful future where it's just like, yeah, the fucking, are you going to complain about everything? Like, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Well, no, that is like always a good indicator. Someone who complains all the time, it's like you are at least a problem some of the time,
But ultimately, a lot of companies have already been using their own secret credit score, right? There's the most of the major companies, whatever their data collecting has been. Like there's this one, hold on, what is this thing called? Patron Scan. They have a blacklist that runs for bars and restaurants, right? Like there aren't too many bars in LA that do this, but I've been to a couple where when you get in, you have to use your ID to get into the bar, and they scan your face and they take a record of your ID. And it's just like, no, this is them building a record. If you're going to like start a fight here, you can't go to any bar that uses this service.
Interesting.
And
Well,
Airbnb,
okay,
Uber, they
hang
have their
on,
blacklist.
Hang on. Yeah, they don't scan your face.
No.
You've-
I'm saying,
Dude, you've
yes.
never been to a bar where they scan your face before
I think
you
you
go
said
in.
they scanned the ID.
No. They inputted my ID and scanned my face. That was the only way to get in. On the Sunset Strip, right around Cahuenga. There are 2 bars I went into where they did that.
Well, they're probably just building a criminal database if that's where you're fucking going now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, it's probably like a bar chain where they all use the same. You know what I mean? It's like one of these bars on the Sunset Strip.
I'm
where it's like,
having
hey,
a really hard time believing they scanned your face. You're
oh
legit.
no, dude, no.
What was that process like?
It was just an image, but it was a camera, and he had a little computer and it attached it to my ID. I really didn't want to go in, but that's how bad I had to pee. I'm like, I fucking need to go into this bar. And so listen, I remember, because like, I've never fucking had my face scanned before. What the fuck is this shit? I'm like, what is this for? I have my ID. I'm like, well, it's to recognize you.
Well, okay, but all right. So back to like, let's get out of this whatever swamp that we're in.
So
these all no, hang on. I have something to say. These all sound like great applications. Like this, to me, this is amazing. If you get into a bar fight, you're not allowed to go to bars anymore. Thank you. That sounds great. What's wrong with that?
Well, you know what's wrong with that is, were you the instigator or were you the victim? Were you attacked by some deranged?
They're not going to wait
so that's
for
the
the result
public
of the
school,
court
like
case,
no
right?
tolerance. Yeah. But I will say this: I've never been in a bar fight in my life, and I've spent a majority of my life in bars. It takes 2 to tango. I think you've got you don't just get punched for no reason.
I mean, you don't get punched for no reason, but sometimes you get punched for not a very good one. You're a victim of circumstances.
But so this system is perfect for me because it's cowards and weaklings. Cowards and weaklings will inherit the earth based on the social credit score, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
Listen, sometimes you got to fight for your right to party, okay?
I feel like if there were an American social credit score, it'd be like, you have to eat a hot dog a day. You have to own at least one shirt that has the flag on it.
Yeah, you got to salute the flag. You got to stand up and salute when the national anthem plays.
There's a whole list of
you have to
companies
fire
here
a gun in the air at least once a year.
And you're
the
not
tires on your
great
truck
sense.
have to be at least 2 sizes bigger than what you need them to be. Where'd you go? Willie just disappeared.
I'm plugging it. Ultimately, that's the crazy thing, is that like your purchasing history, your credit score is going to affect your standing in America in the future. You know what I mean? So here's the thing, like
my standing in America in the present is not great. So I don't know if I could go downhill from here.
Mm-hmm.
Our digital profile of the future, our digital identity, some of the things that were listed in groups that are going to start tracking this stuff is like, how positive are your comments? Have you liked posts from either high or low risk accounts? You know what I mean? Like, are you liking all the Q posts, or are you liking all the whatever, politicalness aside, like there are high risk accounts. And also this company was also keeping track of, since your phone has everything in it, and all these companies are tracking all this data. Did you call your mom on her birthday? That's something that is being tracked currently right now by certain companies.
Wow.
And also, if you read the fine print of TikTok, which is crazy because sure, it's a China company, but it's also half owned by the Waltons now. In the fine print, They have access to every file on your phone, and they follow your keystrokes. So they know everything you've typed in, because you've, in the fine print, it says you've allowed them to monitor your keystrokes.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
this company is fucking learning everything about you.
Oh yeah, no. Some of it's like even crazier than that too, because I know like things like Amazon does and stuff is they will track like where your mouse is, so what you're hovering over, and eventually it'll be retina tracking to see
The
what
retina
you
tracking
are,
is
yeah.
happening. Yes.
Okay, yeah, and they'll detect what you are looking at, how long you're looking at it, and eventually they'll be able to track things like your pupil dilation and stuff, and like how it affects you, because you know, like it's pretty imperceptible to humans, but like you know, animals and stuff, their pupils will dilate or enlarge based on their emotions. And you know, these computers can pick up on that stuff when you're looking at an advertisement, or maybe you're like window shopping on Amazon or something, because yeah,
But
like,
this is great. That's great news. That's good. That's good news, because if they would have had that when 2.5 Men was on the air, they would have seen that every person who was watching that show was actually like looking at their phone, or like washing the dishes, or fucking like vacuuming. I feel like this is great, man.
the
I
background
want
noise has
this.
its place. No, you know, it's like for some of it, it's like I actually don't fully hate it, because I'll tell you what, my targeted ads are fucking good. You know, like they're solid. It's dystopian and horrifying, but at the same time, they know the shit that I want to buy. You know.
So here's the thing about that, and this is like, take it as a pro or a con, whatever. It's great that, okay, because when you buy something, it's fun and you get endorphins, right? You hit that like checkout button, you go whoosh, there's like endorphins, and then you go to your email and make sure that it's about to be shipped or whatever. And then it gets shipped and you're like, yes, dude, it's on its way. So like the whole process is great, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's bad about like the targeted ads. I would much rather have targeted ads that are just like for something I have no interest in, because I just can't afford all this. I can't afford all these endorphins, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think that might be why we're having like such like a mental health crisis in the world, or at least part of it, because I'm not sure that our brains are like should be equipped to have this much stimulation and this much you know, I feel like that's really bad for us.
Buy this. Get
Well,
this.
it could be, yeah, sure, but you know, maybe breathing air was bad for the fish. Like, well, that's never the case. I guess fish always breathe air. I'm thinking about evolution. I was trying to be poetic. Maybe technology advancements are like starting a new stage of evolution where that shit is good for us. You know what I mean? Where it's just like boom, 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 boom. My brain's so fast now, I need all this shit. I don't need to worry about tigers anymore. Give me every fucking thing.
That's very true. I mean, I see positives and negatives with it, because yeah, no, it's like now it's like I can't sit down and relax and read a book anymore, but I can listen to an audiobook while doing my job and like 2 other things at the same time, and completely absorb all that information and do everything efficiently. And I don't think I could have done that 15 years ago, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So here's the thing about the future, right? Is that like, so picture people who have either mental problems or close to homeless or homeless, you know, like how do they fit into the society going forward when it's corporate run and you know, like everything you do matters. So as soon as you, I mean, this is what happened. This is my description in my brain, but this is what happened to the gangs in LA. They were fucking everywhere. They just arrested all of them. They came up with the 3-strike system and then kept them in prison forever. So now the future, paralleling that, if you are not a consumer, if you're not a proper consumer, then you're going to be affected in a bad way too. And I don't mean to
you're an
project
enemy
it.
of
I'm
the
just
state.
saying
No,
that, like,
I
the
completely
state
understand because
is consumerism.
Mhm. No, yeah. To be outside of the system, to be a Dennis Hopper, an Easy Rider, you are an enemy of the state, you know? And that's its whole own thing, you know?
I feel like, okay, but they would never do that because that would breed dissidents, right? Because like right now, the homeless people don't. I guess what I'm saying is, if we didn't buy enough shit, it's not our fault because we don't make enough money. So now you're just what's the word for when you activate a terrorist?
Oh,
Radicalizing. So you would
yeah.
just
yeah,
be,
yeah.
if you're in charge of society, you would be radicalizing like half of your population against you if you started criminalizing not buying shit.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, totally. But like, picture, it's not criminalizing, it's taking away privileges. And so like,
Or
What-
just
the what?
lowering their
Like,
social credit, like
yeah, but
making
but
them
if you-
undesirable.
but if you already don't give a fuck, that's not a punishment. If you're already down there that low, that's not a punishment.
Well, yeah, but you don't necessarily
you
need to
can't
punish
get
a
out of it.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need to punish a person to
No, you
ostracize them either. So because
Should-
all the consumers are like, ugh,
No,
look
but-
at this guy laying on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
You know?
and then at a certain point, the non-consumer homeless people outnumber the consumers, and they fucking take over.
Well,
Mm,
No, that would have to happen if the score
Oh,
is
yeah, well,
that
that
sort of like, defined. There's
I,
less people. There's more people below the poverty line than there are above it.
but it's
Yeah.
it kind of turns into an enslaving technique, though, where it's like, you don't even need to like limit people's stuff. You just need to, oh, you know what, you can't get a loan.
It just feels very much like we're already at a point. I mean, if you look at France or something, they're like in the streets because they don't want their retirement age to go up 1 year. We're in America, we're way more apathetic than that, right? Like they take that shit away from us constantly.
Yeah.
But if it gets to a point where it's egregious, I feel like a social score. I don't know. I just feel like you would just be welcoming chaos.
yeah.
So good luck to them. I mean, maybe this credit score will actually happen. Maybe they'll do it slow enough where it's like putting the frog in the water. He doesn't know that the water's boiling until it's too late. But by then I'll be dead, and probably the world will be too.
Yeah,
But in the
my
meantime,
advice,
I just don't think it'll work. What's your advice? We should
and-
wrap up too.
Yeah, and this is just also, and we didn't get into this much, but like with 5G coming in and 6G coming in, ultimately,
Why do you bring these things up at the end?
well, it's
No, you can't get away.
I'm always just trying to make a sentence based on the research that I did, whether we talked about it or not. Is that
I feel like that's bad essay writing. I think like at the end of your essay, you should just sum up what you've talked about.
but that's the problem with doing any research, is that
I'm sorry, I'm really social crediting you at this point.
well, I mean, like I'm very good at not shoehorning in things that I want to talk about because we didn't go there. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that like the social credit score of the future is going to happen, whether it's government run or not. You do bad things, you're going to get punished, not necessarily have to go to jail. Your life is going to get punished for doing bad things socially. This all relies on the fact that 5G is going to be everywhere. There's going to be little boxes every 500 feet in every direction. Facial recognition, all the things, bank account, all the things that will be connected to your face. I would suggest having a decent amount of cash on you, just so that you aren't a slave to to your wages being changed. I would suggest trying to be healthy so that the radiation of this new electronic shit in the air doesn't affect you as much. I think that it's nice to want to be a good person. And even if you agree with things that are crazy, don't like them for the next couple of years. You don't need to click the like button on things you agree with. Unless you're crusading for it.
Andy, what are you thinking about all this? Where do you stand?
I don't think it's great, but I think it's kind of unavoidable to have some sort of social credit situation going on, whether it's intentional, whether it's actually being applied in any way, or whether it's only certain situations where it affects you, kind of like what Willie had talked about before when he got investigated by the company. I think with everything being tracked the way that it is and logged and everything, it's just kind of impossible to avoid. And I think we need to be careful about how all this information is applied. Do I think it's going to be, do I think like the powers that be are going to be careful with it and use it in a not evil way? Probably not. You know, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's based in evil, right? I mean, there's no
Yeah.
good way to use it, is there?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry, I didn't. I'm jumping back in. I would say that going future though with new technologies, it's a very open world to be creative, and that's what we should be doing. So just want to put that out there. Despite all my negativity, like there's a chance for your art to reach new technologies and reach new audiences. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on all this?
Oh, I don't care. But I will say that I think like a good bonus episode would be the three of us each own a major conglomeration. We own the entire world, and we're setting up a social score for all of the citizens of the earth. So I think our bonus episode should be about us working that out. We'll create the perfect social score.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
All
the
right, well,
perfect,
thanks.
the perfect algorithm, maybe.
We'll figure it out, but like, yeah. So if you want to listen to that, go to patreon.com/relive sci-fi. Hey everyone, thanks for listening. And on Twitch, thanks for watching. We'll start there, and then who knows? We could dive off into fucking outer space. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. We will see you next time.
Real life sci-fi.